Of course, the other big story that we're watching for you is unfolding along the peninsula. A massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake has hit the eastern coast of Russia. In fact, there's a tsunami warning that's currently now in place. In fact, the warning has in some instances been upgraded with the tsunami waves of up to 3 meters expected to reach large parts of the coastal area. The local broadcaster in Japan says evacuation orders have been issued by the government for some areas. Factory workers and residents in Japan's northern parts were also evacuated to a hill overlooking the ocean. We also understand, of course, that there are multiple other warnings that are in place elsewhere. Let's bring in Dasha Sharanshova, who is live to us now from Moscow in Russia. And Dasha, of course, this is a story that's moving on the hour as the hours unfold. Help us understand what the very latest is from Russia at this moment.
Well, from the regional authorities in Russia's Far East saying that the 8.8 magnitude earthquake was the strongest one since the recording started in 1952. The damage is yet to be assessed, but the authorities are saying that at this stage there have been no casualties reported. We know that there's been the tsunami warning issued for the area. People have been evacuated to safer areas, to the higher grounds in order not to be hit by those waves. There have been 4 waves of tsunamis, the third one being the strongest according to local emergency services. And we're also hearing that there will be more aftershocks coming because of that strong earthquake. They're also saying that those aftershocks could actually last for more than a year. The epicenter of the earthquake was in the Pacific Ocean, about 150 kilometers from Petropavlovsk, Kamchatka, at the depth of 17 kilometers. And we understand that the local authorities are now prioritizing the safety of population. Therefore, evacuation orders have been given. The people are being helped to be evacuated to safer areas. The emergency services are now also working with the people who have been, for instance, downshifting, some surfers who lived in some camps on the coastal areas. So certainly the priority at this stage is to make sure that there are no damages done to the population, particularly when it comes to some issues like electricity supply. It has been cut off in many of those areas to prevent any larger scale damage.
Yeah, how many people are we talking here, Dasha, who are likely to be affected by these evacuation orders?
Well, those are thousands of people. We know that in Severokurisk there have been around 2.4 thousand people that have been already evacuated. We've seen some pictures from the area showing people trying to leave with their own cars, and they have been facing issues like traffic jams because the roads there just are not used to such the large number of people being there at the same period of time. So certainly we are talking about thousands of people who would prefer to be evacuated themselves as well as being helped by the authorities.
Yeah. In Hawaii, we're seeing reports of authorities actually struggling to get people to comply with some of these warnings. What's the sense where you're at least in Russia, in the areas affected, around how compliant people there are?
Well, given the nature of the Russian people, they would definitely try to remain at home with their belongings, with their relatives, with their houses. That's the mindset many people have in Russia. But at the same time, there are also those who are panicking. We know from the regional authorities that there have been more cases of people asking medical help just because they had panic attacks, because they were panicking about what was happening. And that is not super unusual for the region, but it's definitely something that people are not seeing very often in the area. We've been hearing about earthquakes taking place before, but this scale is the strongest one to date. So certainly there is lots of panic among the population, and many would prefer to leave the area themselves, but obviously there are those who would rather stay.
All right, Dasha Sharanshova, as we mentioned, this is a story developing by the hour. For now, thanks very much indeed. As soon as there's any other movement, we'll certainly bring that to our viewers here on the SABC News channel. Dasha reporting live from the Russian capital in Moscow.